So I was driving down this road off to film a video up to actually sort of start my walk up on the downs and make my way over to Rackham. And as I was driving down this road, I saw this object coming out of the land and couldn't work out what it was. Thought it might be some kind of farmer's construction, thought it might be some kind of water storage unit or possibly some kind of man-made habitation. Anyway, fascinated me, and also living in this area all my life, I didn't know why I didn't know it was there. And I have driven down this road. I've probably been keeping my eyes on the road rather than looking over to my left. Anyway, did a bit of research, and it turns out there's another castle or fort just opposite Arundel Castle. So in this video we're going to explore this fortification, and we're starting out at the side of it down by the river. Got a footpath that takes us up onto it, and as we get up there I'll talk to you about what I found out. Lovely day in West Sussex, so should be one of the better looking videos. If you wanted to head towards Arundel, you can follow this footpath that snakes along the side of the river. So we're going to head up these steps. Now this was a castle or fort or fortification, and a bit like some of the other castles that we visited, like Bramber and yeah, some of the hill forts, very defensive. Huge amount of banking here, and this is obviously the main footpath getting up onto it. And where we are in Sussex, when you are heading towards Arundel, just before the railway station, there's a turning to the right hand side, and there's a few villages down there: Warning Camp, Wepham and Burpham. And we are in the fort of Burpham, but Burf means fort and Ham means village or hamlet, so we're in the village in the fort. And strange they didn't give it another name like the other fortifications that you have round here. Here we are. So there is a footpath that runs its way through here. So as I said at the start of the video, it looked to me like the farmer had just been hoofing land up, but I've got my own opinions on this, and there's not a huge amount of information online to contradict this. So what we do know is that this probably would have existed before, and probably would have been yeah, Bronze Age or Neolithic, and then it was used by King Alfred the Great of Wessex. He was building berths or forts, and he built 33 of them in the south of England, this being one of them. And they were forts or centres so that the local surrounding area could do trade here safely, which is a little strange obviously, because just within eye shot of here we have got Arundel, which was actually doing the same. So these seem to be competing fortifications, and we can all see that Arundel got the better end of the stick, and Burpham has now been left to the history books. So this piece of land is like a tongue that juts out into the Arun Valley, and like I said, its history is that it was a fort, but there's not been a huge amount of history carried out in this area. At the end of this we have got the only real man-made fortifications, or clear fortifications. You can probably just see the end of it over there, just tucking out of the trees, called the Vallum, and that would be like some of these Stone Age or Iron Age forts that we see up on the top of the hills, the hill forts. A defensive structure made out of earth. There hasn't been any excavations that I'm aware of on these structures, so we don't actually know who made them, but it's more than likely that these were Neolithic, Stone Age man fortifications, and they just have been ramped up when King Alfred got here, and possibly the Romans and you know, other people who have occupied the area may have increased the fortification. So we can see now it's pretty much all farmland, which we can't access, just this one path taking us through, and we're right on the edge of the fort. Right here we can see how impressive these fortifications are. Looks like it's been used by the local children, like a lot of these chalk pits have been. The site of a rope swing, but yeah, extremely high sides. Imagine having to storm this in full armour, and it's really going to tax you out and give the people on the top a massive advantage. Looking down there, got a little children's play area, and this is the cricket hut or community centre, built in, I think it was 1972. They did do a small amount of excavation when that happened, and yeah, basically what that sort of led to is that we've got this defensive walls, a gap in it which used to, they believe, be a gatehouse, and then the walls moving off to the west on the other side. So my opinion on this is the reason that we have only got fortification at that end is that when we look at places like Beeding and Bramber area, the sea levels and flood levels were completely different a long time ago, and I would imagine that all of this land here around this tongue stretching into the Sussex landscape would have been water. So I think this defensive structure here was not to guard necessarily a fort or a castle, but to guard essentially a landing dock, so that foreign ships could have sailed into this area and unloaded. Not sure where the wharf would be, but when we were walking down along the side of this tongue, today there are some sort of flat level spots where you could unload off of a boat, but would have looked very different many years ago. So right here by the gate we have got a sty and what looks like a footpath that crosses to the other side of the farmer's field. We'll just head over there and have an explore, see what we can see. When you're looking at this from the air, it's quite a significant piece of land, and certainly when you're driving along the road that goes along the side of it, it's quite a long drive to get here, but as we can see around this, we've got like a bowl-like hill, and that's what makes me think that this strip of land was probably completely surrounded by water, and that's why they only needed to build the fortifications at one end. There we go. So more steps down. An old road, look. So this side doesn't seem quite as steep as the other side. That could just be through erosion. I mean, this has been here for a long time, approximately 700 years. This Burpham, which is Old English for fort, has been here. And before that there were other people living in this area. It's recorded 170 years before that the nearby peppering farm was a settlement, so yeah, possibly small population here prior to the birth, and they potentially could have been fishermen as well as farmers if this area is flooded, like I think it was. So now, like I said, we've got this cricket green here, or recreational area for the local village of Burpham, spelt B-U-R-P-H-A-M, but is pronounced Burpham. And one of the reasons that I think this may have been a trading area is that over in that direction there was another bit of ancient earthworks. It was like a earthworks enclosure. I think it was called Green Gardens or something like that, and that was excavated, and when they excavated that they found the bones, the tusks and the molars of an elephant. So, and this was in the 1800s, so how you've got elephant remains in rural Sussex, I don't know. There's also a couple of oak boats, dugout boats, that were found in that area as well. So this land has definitely been used for either fishing or communicating via boats with other parts. We're going to head over to this side of the fort. Spectacular views from here. So I know the sun is going to wash this out because we're shooting right into the sun, but over in that direction we've got Arundel Castle, really short distance away, and you can imagine this has all become silted up, but we know, like I said, from Bramber Beading area on the Ada rather than the Arun, that a lot of this area would have been flooded, and they would be using it to get salt from the seawater. This estuary, the Arun, goes all the way down to Littlehampton, where it joins the sea, so probably find that this would have been flooded 700 years ago, or even older. If this was Neolithic, could have been completely flooded in this area, so this would have been possibly a natural formation, but also an excellent area for launching ships from. So there's no access to the defensive wall like there is on some of these older forts, all covered in trees and greenery, fenced off. On the other side of it we've got some housing, and yeah, that's their back gardens, but on this side of it, this would have been the interior of the fort. So it's flat, and then it's going to go up over there and then down, and on the other side there is a shallow ditch, so anybody attacking from this direction would have had to fall into the ditch and then climb back up and scale this massive wall. So even if you're not interested in ancient history, hill forts or old castles, actually just a lovely place to come and visit and take a walk. Right here we've got the old gateway to the fort. These are the two earthen walls that protected it, and they form a V, sort of going off in that direction, this being the tip of the V, and again in that direction going that way. Now it seems like a little bit of a conflicted village. We've got these very expensive houses that there's lots of signs down there saying no parking, so obviously like their privacy, and then we've got the George pub, which you see advertising on the road at Arundel, try and get some trade in here. So a little bit landlocked away from passing trade, but looks like a lovely pub. I think we'll be skipping a visit there on this one, but maybe we'll come back to see this another day if people want me to do a video on that. Another interesting place is this old church, and what's interesting about this is that this church is unusual in that it forms a cross. So got this long section here and these bits that jut out on either side, forming a cross with this Norman tower on the end there. Look at it from the other side. You can see the other part of the cross. I think this is unique to this church in Sussex. Always love to see these little features. Right here we've got an old doorway that's been bricked up and then used to make a window. They've been here for so long, these churches, that they're constantly getting modified by the people that look after them. Unfortunately, sometimes in a tasteless way. This concrete render is probably very protective, but doesn't look very great after all this time. What we'll do is we'll have a little wander around inside, because people did comment on the last video when we went to Shoreham Airport. They'd like to have a look round inside the church. Not everyone's taste, but I just love old buildings, and I love to see the architecture. There are constant reminders when you're out here that you're in a very rural part of Sussex, just like this traditional entrance to a churchyard. No gate, just some steps over the wall. Great views looking westbound, seeing these red-tailed hawks, which you're not going to be able to pick out on this camera, but just constantly circling in the area. So I'm going to end the video up here. If I could just say thank you very much to everyone that's watched this video to this point, and try to be kind to me in the comments. I'm not a historian, I am an explorer. But I do appreciate everyone making the corrections to me when I get the history wrong. And if you can like and subscribe the video, it'll help me to share my videos with a larger audience. And thanks again for watching.